So I remember Billy Graham's wife's famous quote about a really great marriage is made up of two really great forgivers. And one of the things that I think we've discovered on our journey is to also quote Timothy Keller, by definition, you always marry the wrong person. And that can seem like a really strong or negative or unromantic statement, but the reality is that marriages deteriorate and crumble because of this fear that happens after you start dealing with the reality of being with each other, that, oh my God, what if I pick the wrong person? And Timothy Keller is actually quoting Stanley Hauerwas, but he says, the truth is in marriage you always marry the wrong person, which means like there is no one right person for everybody. There's only real people, not right people. And in marriage you're making a decision to say, you're the right person for me for the rest of my life. And I think if we can help people understand that the fantasy of my soulmate and we're destined to be together no matter what, that's fantasy, not reality. And that makes one person more right than the other when the person that is right for you is the person that you say I do to.
Right.
And that's the beauty of understanding covenant and knowing that with covenant you get two real people making a real commitment to each other for the rest of their life, which means that there's going to be real issues and there's going to be real problems to face. And health in marriage is never having issues. It's getting through all those issues together and staying together. Right. So the foundation for success, as I think about our marriage and then us now helping other people walk out marriage, is got to be a really great forgiver, and you've got to be really real about life that you can hear happening right now. And I would say something that you could probably take a page out of our book also is what you're seeing happening right now is you roll with the punches and you keep laughing no matter what. And people lose joy quickly in marriage, usually because of hardship, because of difficulty. Once again, that lie that there's a more right person or that person wasn't the right person. And of course, we're talking very small context. Like we don't have, it's a quick little video interview. We're not going to scan out and talk about people that get in legitimately abusive situations that are wrong and that need to be made right. Just in general, there's kind of a cultural lie that there's a more right person out there, and there's a lack of an understanding of covenant and to death do us part. And keeping joy in marriage is important, and that's on the other side of your choices, not on the other side of your circumstances. If you're looking for happiness in marriage, one of our mentors, Pastor Lee Armstrong, says it this way: if you're looking to get married to be happy, just go to Disney World.
That's right.
Marriage is about learning how to share joy with one another, which is a matured happiness.
That's right.
A deepened happiness. So for me, those are a few things I think off the top of my head that happen, in a successful marriage. Two really great forgivers, understanding that covenant and my choice to love you is what makes you the right person for me, and don't take yourself too seriously.
That's right.
You come with your own brokenness and set of weaknesses, and you got to find laughter in the midst of all of it, because at the end of the day, marriage is a commitment to life, but it's supposed to be life-giving. And I think we found the more that you can laugh, that maybe there's a positive correlation to staying together longer.
I mean, I would echo a lot of the same sentiments. I think for me personally, there's a side of, with marriage, right, like comes so much of the desire of my heart, even early on as a little girl, and desiring to be a mom, and then desiring, everything that came with building a home, and really realizing that if, for me, and learning in this season of my life, that the desire, of course, and having the fulfillment of that, and once you receive it, but if your worth and your identity is in that thing, you're never still satisfied when you receive that thing.
Yeah, because it's never right enough.
It's never right enough. Your kids are never behaved enough.
Yeah.
Your house is never clean enough.
Reality's never going to match up to your fantasy.
That's right. And so for me, I think early on, you have these dreams and you have this, and our family was created by adoption also. And so we have this mix of what all of that came with in the journey of navigating marriage in the middle of really hard situations. And then you reach a stage in motherhood to where...
So back to reality and fantasy are never going to come
So
together.
we had to pause for our short little interlude with children. But
Yes.
I think the idea
Talking
of...
about legitimately that your fantasy and your
That's right.
realities never light up, because
That's
you
right.
can't even do
That's right. You can't even do a video.
the video
sometimes.
without people running through.
No, I just think this really, like, there's a culture that we live in, a very westernized culture, that's you build
Yes.
you build something of yourself. You're
Yep.
self-made. You're this. And it's
Customizable,
absolutely
consumeristic.
And it's hurry and hustle and grind, and just realizing, like, if you act, for me, I can only speak for myself, but pursuing that type of lifestyle, or that pace of lifestyle, it only left me feeling at some level depleted and never satisfied. And learning in marriage, like, again, if I want to have a healthy marriage, it's a friendship. It's mutual respect and understanding. And there's something of value that I can give my family, and I'm made to give my family as a wife. And maybe there will be people, watching or jumping into this that don't have children yet and are just in the throes of the pursuit of marriage. And there's this very romanticized idea of everything they're waiting for. But it's really found in the place, as cliche as it is. But if your heart is not settled in finding that place of, like, beauty in the Lord, you're never going to be satisfied with everything else. And today I really do believe, like, there's a value and a beauty in our marriage that's come from years of friendship.
Years of figuring out how to love Jesus more than we love each other.
That's right. And years of finding that satisfaction in Him and Him alone. And the thing is
that's good.
I just think that is an important thing. And like, the faster we go, the more worn out and just, I feel like, empty our life becomes. And in those moments of just really embracing this moment and being content in what God is doing here.
Yeah.
And
practicing being present with each other, and also practicing the presence of God together.
That's right.
Which means that we're both after each other's heart, but we're after the Lord's heart first.
That's right.
And in that, like, the reality is Jesus is what keeps marriages together.
That's right.
Marriage is God's idea, not man's idea.
That's right.
And we want a cultural perspective on something that's originated from heaven's mind and heart. And it's not going to line up and match up fully until Christ is the center of that.
That's right. Yeah, that's beautiful. I'm like, and I think if you talk about marriage too, we kind of touched on it, but you can't really fully even talk about marriage at two people becoming one flesh without realizing, like, it takes two healthy people. And again, in different places of our life, and we married each other when we were so young. We were 19. Now I look at 19 and I'm like, we were so young. And so we've grown up
young
together.
And dumb.
We've grown up in so many ways together, and we've allowed the Lord, I believe through humility and just that mutual respect, to shape us individually and mold us. But then as a couple in one flesh, and what that looks like to have those shared spaces. But I know for me, my value and respect for you as a leader has greatly, I think, as a leader of our home, as a covering for our family, has just grown in so much, just like respect and love. Really, the late half, I would say, the latter half of our marriage.
And that's important that you bring that up towards the middle to, like, second half of, how we're dividing up the years, because there's so many, I think, especially husbands that want to come in, Christian husbands, with this concept scripturally. They have the theory of scripture that they're called to lead their wife and lead their home, but they haven't fully won the heart of their wife.
That's right.
And if they think that happens, like, during the dating process to completion, or during the engagement period, like, you earn trust and respect as a leader. And that's the great joy and gift of marriage, is that, like, you're earning the ability to be able to lead your wife well, not from the standpoint of her refusal to give, but you're earning a reward of character in
That's
that
right.
process in pursuing the heart. And scripturally, if we're using that as our foundation, Apostle Paul's really clear. Wives are called to submit, but husbands are called to give themselves up for their
That's
wives
right.
the way Christ gave himself
That's
up for the
right.
church. So wives submit, but husbands die.
That's right.
And we have to lead the way
That's right.
in being the first to say sorry, and being the first to fess up where we mess up, and being the first to lead in love, in service. And to the measure that that happens, there starts to be part of a wife's heart that opens up to say, if she loves the Lord,
That's right.
you look more like Jesus today than you ever
That's
have,
right.
which means I give more of my heart and trust to you.
Absolutely.
So that takes time. That's all I'm trying to say.
It does.
That's not an automatic deal.
It isn't, and I think that's the beauty of it, is like, I submit to my husband because I've taken the time also, though, to submit to the Lord.
There you go.
And if I can learn how to submit to the Lord, and so I think a lot of times people will ask, well, what if my husband isn't a believer? Maybe you've come into a relationship and there's so many different places of tension or areas of growth.
And maybe you found the Lord later in the
right.
marriage. Yeah.
And there's a place, though, there's a place to where, as a wife, my heart and my desire, and I believe the way that we're created, is to keep our hearts sensitive first to the Lord.
Yes.
And then to come in and actually model what it looks like to serve and to love, and not to be a doormat, and not to be none of those things.
But if a wife can't submit to the Lord, how's she going to submit to the husband? It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
No.
And so there's a place of submission. And I think early on, in being raised, in a generation that was right before us, of hard workers, like, you work and you move and you get things done and you get things accomplished.
But also a healthy dose of the whole feminism movement,
right.
and girl boss,
That's
and
right.
motherhood, and being a wife is totally secondary, subservient.
That's right.
Motherhood's a trap. It's a prison.
Yep.
It's de-glorified on social media.
Yep.
All those things, the feminist movement has played a number in regards to the sacred view of the role of a wife. And that's not any shots at working moms.
Not at all.
You ran your own business
Right.
for a season. Right now, obviously, you're have the hardest job of all, homeschooling all 5 kids, and literally being the minister to this home. And I've told you that I don't have words to put into appreciation what it means that I have a full-time minister to me and to my kids, and it's you. And that's the joy and the glory of motherhood.
That's right.
And of the wife's role that they can step into.
That's right.
And I think you can balance that,
Absolutely.
being a working out of the house wife.
That's right.
But a lot of women don't see that as you get an opportunity to be the minister
That's right.
to your husband and to your children in a way that no one else can.
That's right.
And that's an honor.
It is
no
an
one
honor.
can take that spot.
It is, and I think, but again, all the swirling, what you see and what you hear, and that isn't the dominant message that at any level you're given within culture. And so I think it is shifting a little bit now, but I really, like, that was very foreign to me. I didn't grow up around stay-at-home moms and those kind of things. And so to take, and when we talk about the overall health of our marriage and what our life has looked like, I think for me it was a process of learning how to trust you truly as my leader, and to submit my heart fully to the Lord in a way of, I don't have a backup plan.
Right.
Like, I don't have 40 years from now. Not that we ever actually get to be that far planned out, right? But we can dream, and I love to dream, and I love to plan with the Lord. And so I had a lot of plans, but there's something about being so just content and settle into what He's doing in our life and in our family, that I don't need to plan a lot. I'm content with where God has us. But it's also been a process of healing my own heart and finding identity in the Father first, that then has allowed for the overflow of my life to now be loving my family well and getting to serve my family in that way, and seeing that not as a lesser form of anything that I'm putting my hands to.
Right.
And so to me, that, that's just a snip of, I think, overall, but it's seeing this perspective of how we function together in this season of our life, and how our family and our children are functioning overall so much more healthy has really, to me, had a huge impact on, of course, our overall marriage, because there's just a place of peace that we've created within our home that has not been easy. It's been high cost.
Oh, yeah.
Very inconvenient, but it's been worth it. And to see, even this is our 15th year of marriage, which still seems so young. We're still in adolescence of our marriage.
There's still
but
thousands of people that know way more than we do.
that's right.
And we're still doing our best to just follow Jesus and be kind to each other.
That's right.
In the process.
That's right. Being helpful and being kind. I think laughing a lot, and just being a really good forgiver, and not taking things too personally.
No.
Like if you're having a bad day, my default isn't that it's because of me or it's because of this. It's choosing to love each other truly through the lens of, like, how can I serve you? And washing feet. And I think that's the area for me that the Lord has just grown in awareness of. Unless I've spent time washing feet, I have no authority to speak.
Yeah.
And I think that's to me, the place, real authority, not just a voice.
Yeah.
Like, I want to have authority of the Lord, and that doesn't come through the ability to communicate. That comes through going low and serving. And if I, want to see...
The greatest of these will be your servant.
That's right.
Yeah.
If I want to see major impact in our marriage, major impact in the lives of our children, and any community that we touch or person, it's how can I posture my life to wash your feet, serve you, and to give that type of love. And I think
and
that's
to be
what
honest,
marriage is.
you've led me in that. You've modeled that to me, and I've learned, from watching your life in that regard. And I think that's a huge thing for. And I mean, the pride equation can be off on both ends.
Absolutely.
Because wives can be prideful as well.
That's right.
But there is kind of a default nature to most men, which is like, I'm in charge.
That's
I
right.
know what to do. And I think one of the keys to success and health as the leader of the home is you stay open to correction, and you stay open to learning from everybody that you're leading.
That's right.
So I've seen that in you, and you've taught me that. With the kids too, I think another dimension is the questions that we ask them. Is there anything we're doing that you wish we wouldn't do?
Right.
And is there anything you're doing that you wish we would do more?
That's right.
But a lot of people don't run their house that way, and we don't ask those questions because we're great.
No, I
actually
always have a very long list.
Yeah, we actually ask those questions because we're both totally aware of how much we still need to keep working.
That's right.
And if you really want somebody to be honest with you, ask your kids.
That's right.
If you have kids, kids don't have any, horse in the race to not
That's
be
right.
honest. But that's a great tool, and I think that's even, in a way, more recently we've opened that up as even feedback for each other.
Absolutely.
With that. It's like, hey, I'm asking the kids, but you jump in as well, and vice versa. And not being defensive about it. Like,
right.
oh, you told me something that I really need to qualify because I think you got it wrong. It's like, no, we got to lay down
hear you.
defenses and just hear.
That's right.
And then after that, we can have a conversation
That's right.
if there is miscommunication or confusion or something. So I really feel like that's a currency of honor and humility in the home that's got to be there. And some of these principles will work regardless of if you're still trying to figure out how you're going to relate to Jesus.
Absolutely.
Like, our heart would be that you actually come into the life-saving knowledge of Jesus.
That's right.
That's what we exist on the earth for.
That's right.
That's what we've given our life to. But Jesus' principles will work for a lost person. How to choose forgiveness, how to choose a currency of honor and humility in your home, how to keep laughing no matter what's going on. Those are kingdom principles that'll work regardless. So even if, like, someone's finding this video and they're still on the fence,
That's right.
like, if you're confused on if Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life, try his principles. And when they start working,
That's right.
you'll want him to speak into every area of your life, which ultimately comes through making him Lord, and confessing him as who he truly is. But these are just little things that we've picked up on the journey.
That's right. And I
So
think,
pray it's helpful to somebody.
absolutely. I think I think to kind of tie it all together, what I heard you say is, and we say this all the time, like, we're not the best parents. Like, I'm not the best wife. I'm not.
I think we
the greatest
classify
mother.
ourselves as good,
Okay-ish.
but not great. I'd put us towards the better end of good on husband and wife by now, parent-wise, we're probably just B minus good on our road to be great.
That's right.
But greatness happens, I hear, whenever you're a grandparent.
That's right.
So we're looking forward to that.
But with that, our heart is in anything. And I would say this is, to me, the way that we live, or what I hope is the way that we're known as living to our children more than anyone in the world. That I hope my kids see this in me. That at the end of the day, I don't know the answer. I don't know how to be a good wife to you fully. I don't know you the way God knows you.
Right.
So if I'm after how to actually love you well, if I will take that need or that unmet expectation or whatever that is and actually give it to the Father, He is the perfect father, but He's also the perfect husband.
Yes.
And He's going to be able to manage and help me with what's going on in me so that I can actually know you better. It was the same with my children. Like, I'm an okay parent, but if I can get my children to the Father early, they're going to have the best father in Him.
Yes.
He's going to heal them up, and He's going to solidify, so that anything I say to them or train them in is just a confirmation with what the Father's already said. And so,
and what we can do well is push you to the Lord.
That's right.
And what we can do well is help guide conversation about how He's instructing your heart. Because that weight left on anybody's shoulders is crushing.
Too much.
Mom guilt's a real thing.
That's right, absolutely.
Husbands and fathers feeling like whatever they do, it's never quite enough.
That's
or
right.
never fully right, is a real mental struggle for men that doesn't get talked about near as much.
That's right.
But the reality is, Jesus said, "Come to me, all you that are tired and heavy laden." And essentially, He's going to give us a way to rest, to take His burden and to stay yoked to Him. So ultimately, key to a successful marriage, follow Jesus.
Find Jesus.
Find Jesus.
That's right.
And follow Him with everything, because on your worst day, He's still always at His best.
He still is. And it alleviates that. And when we talk about anxiety that can feel like it's suffocating you, is to feel like you're carrying the weight of a family.
Yeah.
You're carrying the weight of a business or a home or a marriage.
Trying to juggle it
and
all.
You're trying to maintain it, where really, like, rest isn't just sleep.
Yeah.
Rest is relief from the pressure of all the soul things that are going on and responsibility. And rest is actually the exchange of, to be yoked with the Lord means He's carrying the weight of it, and you just get to follow His pace.
Yeah.
And I think that's the beauty of life. In a healthy marriage, it's worth waiting for.
Yes.
It's worth hearing God on, and it's worth running.
And it's worth growing.
It is.
Because you have to grow one.
That's right.
It doesn't come that way.
You have to choose it.
Choose it.
Choose your hard.
Right.
Marriage is hard. Divorce is hard. Like, all of you hear that, right?
Yeah.
Like, working out is hard.
Raising kids together when
Right.
you and mom might not agree on the approach is hard.
It's hard.
Single parenting
It's
is
hard.
also hard. Co-parenting
That's
is
right.
also hard.
There's so many different
Yeah.
types of hard. It's just what's your choice, and how are you going to stick it out together?
That's right.
And what's the Lord saying in that?
So come full circle, we start off with the Stanley Hauerwas quote that you always marry the wrong person. But the reality is that's only true because your soul's always meant to be married to the perfect one.
That's right.
And if you figure out how to live married to the perfect one, who's Jesus Christ, He will show you how to be the right person to somebody else.
Amen.
Each and every day.